Hey guys, today I want to talk about legal issues in the Philippines, and it's something that comes up quite a lot here with a lot of expats because they look for love in the wrong places. I'll just say that. But I want to read this email that somebody sent me. I'm going to leave the guy's name out, and I'm not going to give any too much information on the guy. I'm just going to read what he wrote to me. And he writes to me, "Hi Steve, my name is so and so. I enjoy watching your show. Thanks for all the information. I'm originally from the U.S. and still live there. About 7 years ago, I came here to find my love, which was okay for a few days, but then turned out to be a nightmare. I will not get into the details now. Just get to the point. We have a 6-year-old daughter and came here now to join her birthday after spending 6 days with them. All went pretty well, but before she left, she filed a charge that I was violent. Completely fabricated, and I have witnesses who was with me the whole time while we were together. Let me see. At the end, she asked me for another 20K, and she went back to her province. But after she left, she told me she put a hold on me and I won't be able to return to the U.S. I am not sure how true that is, but I am reaching out to you to know of any attorney who will be able to help me in this situation, since I go back tomorrow and want to be prepared for the worst situation." He says, "Thank you for taking the time." I'm not going to get into any of the guy's personal information or anything, but the guy wrote this to me, and this isn't like something that I receive once in a while. I receive these like about 3, 4, 5 times a month sometimes. Sometimes I get as many as 7 or 8, sometimes I don't get any at all, but I do receive these quite often. And it's kind of scary to read this type of stuff, because girls over here, especially the younger ones, and a lot of guys that go for the younger ones, man, let me tell you something, they can be scary because of the fact that some of them, they hang around their friends, and their friends they pump ideas into their head and say, "Hey, you can do this here, you get out to the PMP, you file against him, then he has to stay. And that way he can't leave, and he's got to pay you money." They make up some story just to get some stuff started. They like to watch all the drama go on around the girl, and the girl doesn't have a clue that they're getting bad advice or whatever. And sometimes it's the girl themselves. Some of them are just plain trouble. A lot of guys, they come over here and they get attached to these girls way, way, way too quick, and they don't even really get to know the girl until after they're married. They all come over here with this grand illusion that every girl over here is perfect. It doesn't matter which one you grab, they're all pretty much perfect. 99% of them are good, and that's simply not true. It's just like in the United States that there are problematic girls over here, but some of these girls, they're quiet, and the quiet ones you gotta watch out for, because those are the ones that can be trouble sometimes. A lot of guys come over here and they figure, oh, if I meet a bar girl, and by the way, there's a couple of vloggers out there saying that bar girls are okay to marry and they're perfect. And I'm not saying all bar girls are bad, but I'm saying, something, if that's what you're looking for, then you're asking for trouble. I just think you're looking for love in the wrong places. I'll just be honest with you. I don't think it would work out in most cases. Why take that risk when you can go out and you can find a halfway decent girl that wasn't a bar girl? And isn't going to have that extra issue, those extra issues that she's been around all these other girls that were basically kind of trouble. You know what I mean? And let's face it, a barroom atmosphere, a girl that grows up in a barroom atmosphere or worked in a barroom atmosphere for a long time is not the type of person that you want to take home, and marry. It just isn't. Let's face it. I mean, I'm not putting down those girls or anything when I say that. I'm just saying that a lot of those girls come with a lot of issues and a lot of trouble and a lot of things, and possibly even some of them might have diseases or whatever. Some of the girls in some of the places, like in Angeles or whatever, they come with a lot of issues. Let's face it. So you got to be careful. But the problem that I want to talk about the most here is this: is that a lot of guys, they're reasoning as they age, as far as like when they're looking into like a girlfriend or something like that. Let's face it, a lot of guys in their 60s and 70s are starting to lose their faculties a little bit of dementia, a little bit of senility, a lot of issues are starting to come into play, and they still think that they have that same rational reasoning, and they just don't. And they go out and they find these girls, and the girl pays a little attention to them, and then from there it goes downhill, because a lot of the girls are just looking for money, or they're looking for somebody that's just gonna support their family or what have you, and yeah, they'll give them the guy a lot of attention and stuff like that for a while, and then they realize, I'm not sure if I'm so happy about all this stuff. I'm just gonna leave the guy, and I'll just take him for whatever I can take him for, and that's what I'm gonna do. And it makes it even harder if you have kids, because a lot of these girls will play games with you, with using the kids as a pawn, and that's nothing new to us from the United States. Let's face it, it happens back in the US. Of course it's going to happen over here in the Philippines. And people, like I said, people are under this illusion that girls in the Philippines are somewhat totally different than girls in the United States. Yes, they are. There's probably more decent girls over here than there are in the US. I mean, I'm just saying that straight out. But yes, the problematic girls over here can sometimes be more problematic than the girls back home in the US. And when you hit them, you know that you hit them, because they're going to let you know that you hit them in a very, very bad and sad way. And this story that I just told on here, that's quite common. I had a guy, he told me a story about he married a girl up, I think it was up in Subic. He moved up to Subic. He married a girl from Angeles, found out after he married her that she was a former bar girl and a prostitute. And she took him for everything that he had practically by the time she was done with him, and you really need to have a good attorney, because when you see something happening like that, talk to an attorney and say, hey, listen, I want to be protected through this. What do I got to do? What do I need to do? An attorney over here is not that expensive. I paid for an hour of an attorney's time, I paid about $40. Okay, so attorneys over here are not like back in the US where you're paying $200, $400, $500 an hour for an attorney. And over here, you're getting a Philippine attorney. Just go up and say, look, I don't want to get, snookered and pay all kinds of money. This is what I'm willing to pay. How much are you going to charge me? And go to different attorneys. Try to find a good, honest, decent attorney. I mean, it sounds like an oxymoron, but I mean, there are good attorneys in the Philippines. And I found one up in Manila. Please don't call me and ask me for her information. If you really, really need one, I'll give it out to you. But I mean, I don't want everybody calling me or texting me or messaging me or emailing me for my attorney's information. But if it's really, really needed and you need somebody, obviously I'll give it out to you. But I really don't like to flood her with all kinds of people calling her or whatever. But anyway, just be careful out there, guys. Legal issues happen. Okay, legal issues will happen over here in the Philippines, and these issues with some of these girls are the biggest issues over here. Legal issues over here, more so than a lot of other stuff, than land issues, property issues, stuff like that. I would say that the girl issues, because a lot of guys go through girls like toilet paper over here. They just and eventually you're gonna piss one of them off the wrong way, and it's gonna come back and slap you in the face really hard. A lot of guys think that the gated communities here are the way to go because you can keep them out. Sometimes these girls get past the gates. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they make a deal with the guard, or they give the guard some money or whatever. Also, some of the guards here, if you're a guy that's over here dating and you live in a gated community, what they do is they tell the girls when they're coming through, oh, your boyfriend has a whole bunch of girls coming in here all the time, and you're just dating, that's to be expected, but they make a big deal out of it, and they're trying to poach your girlfriend. It's the way of the world over here, and I'm not saying all guards are bad. I'm saying I've seen it happen over here. I've heard of it happen to many people over here. It's not one, it's a whole bunch. So, and I heard that happened down in Cebu and Dumaguete too, that a couple of the guards were doing stuff like that. They were poaching the guys' girlfriends, and that can be nasty. But I just want to touch mostly on the legal issues here and the girlfriend issues, and make sure, guys, have a lawyer. Have a lawyer readily available that you can call in any issue, and you can say, hey, listen, it might even be worth putting $100 down with them or $200, so you can call them up once in a while, and you can say, hey, listen, I want to run something by you, and ask them. See what the gig is, see what the answer to your question is. Get good answers from a good attorney, and you'll be a lot safer over here in the Philippines. Don't let these girls snooker you and stuff like that. Check it out with an attorney before you do anything. God bless, guys. Take care.